I know you're saying, Simon, why aren't you outside the O2 Arena right now? Well, we are going to have to go a little bit cryptic here, so please do forgive me. Sometimes life goes life. Do not worry about it though, because of course I did sit down to watch the show and I was all pumped. And we do have some very exciting ups and downs news for WrestleMania, which I will share with you soon. Also, I like to cater for the entire audience. And every time we do live ups and downs, there's always at least a few people that go, oh, I don't like these episodes. So this one is for you. Anyway, let's get into SmackDown that was live from London, and it kicked off with Cody Rhodes. The ovation for this guy, it was quite frankly redonkulous. I'm pretty sure he could have stood there for an hour and the crowd in London would have just kept singing his name and a bunch of other songs. And listen, really, this was probably a good thing, because at the moment when John Cena isn't on a show, well, we do suffer from, well, John Cena isn't here. He didn't really care though, because the atmosphere was so good, and when he had done his little spiel, do you know who interrupted him? There's none other than Repo Man. Wasn't Repo Man, then I would have had a conniption. It was Randy Keith Orton. He was treated like he was Santa Claus, and he said all the warm and fuzzy in your tum-tum feelings towards Cody Rhodes. He's like, man, you came into this business, you left WWE, you changed the industry, you came back, you were the same guy, then you finished the story, you're the WWE champion. Essentially, Cody Rhodes, you are the greatest person that has ever lived. I mean, it really could not have been nicer to him, but the tease or the twist of the tail was when he went up, by the way, I do need to win a 15th WWE title soon, so if you've still got that belt, well, I ain't going to stab you in the back, I'm going to kiss you in the front. We didn't say that, but it was very similar to what CM Punk said a few months ago. I think we need to watch this space. Drew McIntyre then kept this madness going because he wanted to walk out. This is when the London fans had decided, we don't care if you're a heel, we don't care if you're a face. If we like you, well, we're going to give you the thumbs up. He told Randy he just shut the hell up, because if anybody's going to challenge for that WWE Championship, it will be Drew. And also, who's the only UK-born WWE champion in history? It's me, Drew McIntyre. He also ran off his usual truth bombs when he was like, Randy Orton, ever since you have come back, nobody cares. And even though I only held the World Heavyweight title for 5 minutes, well, people were more invested than that. Also, you look great, you're all jacked up, but I know inside you're completely broken. Cody then smacked him one, and Randy was going to drop him with the RKO, but that's when Drew McIntyre bailed. When we learned that on tonight, on this random episode of SmackDown, it is Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. So where the hell did that come from? The really good thing here, though, is that I think this was WWE giving you a wink, wink, nudge, nudge to things that could happen post-WrestleMania. I mean, I suppose you could do Cody versus Randy versus Drew, but also, if Cena wins the championship, he could take on CM Punk. Honestly, you could sit down and fantasy book to your heart's content, and nearly every match you arrive at, you go, that would be pretty good. So this was cool, the reactions were fantastic, and yeah, maybe one day we will look back and go, oh my gosh, that meant way more than we were thinking. I do admit, we kind of do need to light a little bit of a fire under Cody Rhodes and John Cena, but let's wait till Raw up. This hometown feeling then continued because it was time for a tag team title match. It was the Street Profits taking on Pretty Deadly. They got a very nice pop. We've said it once, we'll say it twice. Made me feel all warm and fuzzy in my tum-tum. Ultimately, though, this did kind of suffer from the fact there was absolutely no jeopardy, mostly because the Street Profits had won the tag team titles last week. Now, I guess there was a 1%, because we keep teasing that maybe we're going to do a multi-person ladder match or something at WrestleMania when it comes to the tag team titles. But after this, it's probably going to be a little hard to justify. I mean, Pretty Deadly did look really good, but eventually the Street Profits hit their go button, they hit their blockbuster. 1, 2, 3. So they kind of zoomed by just a little bit. I mean, it only got 8 minutes, and for a title match, that's not massive. Maybe it was a little bit longer, but again, it wasn't an elongated amount of time. And what we do with Kit Wilson and Elton Prince after this, I don't know, but I hope there are some plans. Once again, here comes that classic line, we wait and see, but it was totally fine. Up. We then saw Kayden Carter and Katana chants backstage. I was like, oh, well, thank goodness for that. I was about to put them on a milk carton. I mean, while they can appear on European shows, but have essentially vanished in the US, I have no idea. Short version is, they fell out with Chelsea Green's secret Hervice. So now you know what you gotta do. It is wrestling. You're gonna have a match. This is where I am gonna throw our first down in though, because when you do take this show as a whole, well, there are a lot of these matches where you could just see what the ending is going to be, and 9 times out of 10 that's totally fine. But yeah, just some of the finishes here, you're like, well, we could maybe have a little bit more fun. I mean, let's face it, Piper Niven and Alba Fire, who are Chelsea Green's new goons, they were never going to lose here. And actually that ties into something I'm about to say, which makes me a massive hypocrite. what are you gonna do? Down. Because yes, sometimes WWE does turn people heels, they make a brand new team, and they do lose instantly, so thank goodness here that did not happen to Alba and Piper, and these three as a stable, well, I actually think they have all the potential in the world. I still think we need to be doing more with Chelsea Green's Women's United States Championship, which is sort of just hanging out playing Nintendo, but I live in hope. Otherwise, of course, towards the end, Chelsea got on the ring apron, it was all like, "Ma!" and she cast the distraction. So Piper was like, "Thanks, mate." Don't know why she's Australian now. She hit the Piper driver, because if you are going to come up with a finisher, you may as well name it after yourself. 1, 2, 3. So maybe those two could go after the tag team titles. They all jump Katana and Chance after this because they are hater holes. When Zelina Vega came out to make the save, I was like, Zelina, this is the worst plan ever. It's 3-on-1, and she got whooped. So yes, it was nice to see the secret Hervice standing tall, but there are so many different elements to this that we could do more with because they're all so damn entertaining. But again, brand new team, get the win. They kind of worked as a duo, and if Chelsea Green can get into some good singles feuds, well, this has a lot of potential. Between all of that too, we saw Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns arriving at the building, so somebody should find them because they were super duper late. When we got a really cool announcement for the Hall of Fame. Because much like the UFC, we are now putting matches into the thing, or immortal moments, and we are starting with my favourite match of all time, Bret Hart vs Stone Cold Steve Austin, WrestleMania 13. Now the extra cool thing about this is that Bret and Steve are going to be there, so now I can do my dance of joy and push my nerd booking, that is probably never going to happen, but I'm going to do it anyway, which is John Cena wins the WWE title from Cody Rhodes with the help of The Rock on night 2 of WrestleMania 41, but you can't end WrestleMania on a downer, so the glass does break, Stone Cold comes out and helps Cody, and those two end the show as like the best of friends. I know you're already in the comments going, Simon, you're so stupid. You don't have to tell me, Mum. You've been telling me for years. When I have another down. I know. But that's because it was Braun Strowman versus LA Knight for the Men's United States Championship. And I was like, give it 8 minutes, and I bet you Jacob for 2 interrupts, and we get the disqualification. Don't know who I was talking to. I watched SmackDown by myself. So very lonely. But yes, that's exactly what happened. Jacob for 2 decided, well, I'll just let them fight for a little bit when I will whoop their ass. I tell you, he is so good at destroying people. He hit both of them with all of their moves, and it didn't even look like he'd broken a sweat. The problem is, though, when it does come to this championship, for about the last 72 weeks, every match has ended the same, and yes, I get it, I understand. It's not 2 + 2 = potato. We are going to have a multi-man match at WrestleMania, but getting there, I just think the creative has been a little bit dull. I don't know, make all the noises you want to make, but that's how I feel. I can't lie to myself, man. That's a slippery slope. So that part gets it down. What did excite me though is that after this, Jacob Fatu ran into the Bloodline 2.0, and Solo Sikoa was like, "Oh, hi, Jacob, you need to calm down. I think you're going too crazy." And Jacob was like, "I'm not going to calm down. And in fact, I'm going to win that US Championship, and I'm going to bring it back to the family, because I know what's good for us." So surely this is going to end, maybe with Jacob Fatu becoming the US champion, and then feuding with Solo outside the other end of WrestleMania. But even if that doesn't happen, because Solo dicks him over or something in Las Vegas, well, there are rumors out there that Jeff Cobb has signed with the WWE, and Bronson Reed has to come back soon. Then you could take Hikuleo, who has also signed up, and all of a sudden, whoops, bam, thank you, ma'am, we have a Bloodline 3.0 feud. And admittedly, maybe we're pushing that a little bit too much, but everybody keeps saying that, and they keep figuring it out. So mostly because of the booking of Jacob, I am going to give it an up. This dude is going to main event WrestleMania one day. Jackie Redmond then interviewed Jimmy Uso, and he's all fired up because he's going to whoop ass against Gunther on Monday. This is to show Brother Jay as well what he can do at WrestleMania, when in walked The Miz and Carmelo Hayes. That is still a really weird duo. The Miz reminded us of his resume, as he loves to do, when he was like, Jimmy, you suck, and Jay Uso sucks too. So essentially, not only did Jimbo say, well, you're going to have a match later, but then he pretended he was going to slap The Miz, and because The Miz is a big coward, he went, no! But Big Jim was just kidding. When we absolutely had one of the best things on the show, this Naomi sit-down backstage promo. Now, she has totally embraced Owen Hart from 1998 with all her yellow tape, which I'm a big fan of, but she explained her actions here. I was a bit like, Naomi, that's a great point. Because what is the deal with Jade Cargill? I mean, Naomi has been working her ass off for years. She's always had Bianca Belair's back. And then Jade arrives, and all of a sudden she's taking Naomi's place. she doesn't think that's very cool. Therefore, she is done with being pushed aside and she is done with being disrespected. And if anybody does get in her way, well, Naomi is finally putting herself first. And that's right, Jade Cargill, I am talking about you. I tell you as well, this was delivered so well and she ruled so hard during this. I think it doesn't have to be anytime soon, but we should pencil it in. Naomi has to go all the way to becoming the world champion. Because yeah, when you do have a heel turn and it works this good, you have to follow it up with a big win. Otherwise, you just look like a goober. I hate saying this too, but she does have a little bit of a Drew McIntyre to her. She is kind of right. And I do find myself leaning on her side a little bit, meaning when we do get to Jade versus Naomi at WrestleMania 41, well, that is going to be one interesting tamale. This was a massive home run, though, and exactly what Naomi has needed for the past few months, so I am giving it an up. Now, she's probably going to lose at WrestleMania, but do I want her to? No. Jade then did find Nick Aldis because she wanted to beat up her rival, and Nick was like, I don't think she's in the building. That just meant he was doing a terrible job. Cargill then ran into Michin and B-Fab, and they were like, oh, we agree with you, Jade. You could smell this. They were about to pay for that. Foreshadowing. Because yes, Michin and B-Fab then did head to the ring because Meech was going to take on Charlotte Flair when Naomi teleported in from the Starship Enterprise, and she absolutely killed them. Now, it is fair to say that B-Fab got the worst of this because Naomi threw her into Al in the announce table, but she also made sure to get some shots in on Michin when that classic wrestling trope happened. Oh my gosh, Michin, there is no way you can wrestle. I mean, you've had the holy hell beaten out of you. I still really want to fight. I think I can do it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with me. I didn't realize. Ring the bell. Have a good time. Yep, that's right. We just let her do it. This thing got really weird because it went about 9 minutes. I couldn't help it. My brain kept saying to me, well, what was the point of any of that? I mean, it essentially ignored everything Naomi had done. And listen, I like Michin. I'm a big fan of hers. But the wrestling saying goes, sometimes it's just not your night, kid. And given that Michin doesn't feel like she's even factored into WrestleMania, well, I kind of feel like we should have gone that way. I mean, you have to use your stories in order to get talent over. And seeing Michin go 50-50 with Charlotte Flair essentially told you, well, Naomi didn't do that good of a job, but also told you that Charlotte Flair wasn't able to use this to her advantage. And if we had gone the other way, Naomi would have liked an asshole, and Charlotte would have liked an asshole. She'd be like, I'm definitely going to take advantage of this because I don't care. I'm the queen. Michin still lost due to the figure of 8, and it just didn't really feel like the fans were into this. And I think I've figured it out. We only sort of do this to elongate SmackDown because, of course, it's 3 hours. And as I was saying, until my dying day, which sounds like an awfully long and stupid waste of my time, SmackDown was better at 2. So this didn't work for me, especially because, yes, Charlotte Flair is in a big match at WrestleMania against Tiffany Stratton for the championship, and Jade Cargill versus Naomi is going to be like a blood feud. So I do have to give it a down. What can I say? Well, I just said it. Let's move on. The best part was actually the Tiffany Stratton promo afterwards, because I think everybody involved had gone back 7 days. They'd realised we didn't really get that promo off with Charlotte right, but we could use it. We did. Because essentially after Jackie Redmond had asked her about this, Tiffany used Charlotte's words against her. She was like, all right, fine. Let's say that I do beat Charlotte Flair. I have just beaten a legend. But if she beats me, or if she beat an absolute nobody, sucks to be her. So I really enjoyed this, and it goes to show sometimes we should put wrestlers in a sink or swim situation. But if they do swink a little bit, just throw them a life jacket to help them. The old WWE never would have done that, but the new WWE does seem to. And I still think Tiffany Stratton should lose because of all of this before she wins match 2 and she wins match 3. And then, yes, she will have learned, she will have got the experience. And next time she's in a promo off, she'll never do it again. That works for me, brother. Up. When we just had Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton on a random episode of SmackDown. I'm not going to complain, this was great. It also helped as well because I just knew deep down in my tootsie toes I was never going to get a clean finish. I mean, come on, man. WWE a few weeks before WrestleMania. It didn't really work in the bigger picture though, because Drew McIntyre got the win after Kevin Owens had walked out, and Randy Orton could not believe this. He was like, well, how can my dastardly rival just be strutting his way to the squared circle? When he turned around, he got Claymored right in the face, 1, 2, 3. So Drew McIntyre absolutely needed this because that's a massive victory for him, and we'll get to that later. And Kevin was then going to pile drive was going to pile drive Randy Orton through Al in the announce table, but Randy got out of the way. He was going to punk KO in the head, but Owens ran off. But do not worry, we shall do all of this at WrestleMania. So once again, it kind of feels like we are planting some seeds for some post-Mania plans. And my favourite thing is that everybody here just felt like a major star. That's the second time that happened on this SmackDown. When? Guys, now look, I'm not 100% sure, but you can look at the image and you can make your mind up for yourself. Obviously, as part of the tease videos we have seen over the last few weeks. I don't think it's gonna be Rusev, because yes, you could read it with your eyes. Rey Fenix will debut on SmackDown next week. Given that it's before WrestleMania, well, this could be quite exciting. As I always tell you, whether it's WWE to AEW or AEW to WWE, jumping ship just feels cool. And good for him. I hope he's gonna make a lot of money, and I hope he's gonna have a great run. When Jimmy Uso defeated The Miz, and I'm essentially going to tell you exactly what I just told you. Because this didn't need to be this long either, and The Miz didn't need to take this much of the match. Now again, what do I know? Absolutely nothing. I couldn't even keep my hair. But for my money, if Jimbo absolutely whoops The Miz's ass and beats him in a couple of minutes, and then walks into his match with Gunther on Monday, and then Gunther eats him alive, well, you start going, oh my gosh, this Ring General World Champion is an absolute beast. Because we did do it the other way though, and they essentially did go 50-50 with The Miz almost winning. If Gunther now does wreck Big Jim, they'll be like, all right, well, great. That's exactly what I thought was going to happen. It just means that we didn't have the roller coaster effect of Jimmy going up and then coming down. Listen, nobody knows more about ups and downs than me. Although I do want to say, I can't handle all this criticism towards The Miz. People have forgotten what he has done in his career. You're never able to convince me otherwise. That man is an all-timer. So yes, I'm just going to say it again. It's becoming my catchphrase, so please do forgive me. This only happened because SmackDown is 3 hours. SmackDown doesn't need to be 3 hours. Down. Drew McIntyre then bumped into singer Lewis Capaldi backstage. Now, we had seen Lewis earlier in the crowd, and he is a big WWE fan. And they were like, we're Scottish, let's go meet in the pub. McIntyre also made it clear that the reason he won his match with Randy Orton is because for once nobody got involved in his business. What has he been telling you for the last year? When that doesn't happen, the Scottish Warrior wins the match. Damian Priest also didn't show up tonight because he is a coward, but this must be the Beetlejuice effect. He must have said his name too many times, because just as Drew did go to leave, guess who was there? If you're not saying Damian Priest, I don't think you're listening. This got totally out of control too, because they were fighting on a car when Damo grabbed Drew and he gave him a big choke slam through the windscreen of the vehicle. As a bit like, I think we kind of need to phone the cops. That is most definitely sort of a crime. It was quite funny because CM Punk then walked past on his way to the ring and looked at his old enemy and went, ha ha ha. And yes, look, maybe this was an AEW reference. I'm just going to be honest with you, I don't care. If each company wants to take shots, that's perfectly fine. This has been going on for the last 40 years when it comes to interpromotional wars. But am I going to get my knickers in a twist? No. That sounds like it would hurt my groin. What I'm more concerned about is that Lewis Capaldi had already gone to the bar and nobody told him that Drew McIntyre essentially had his life almost taken from him, meaning Lewis would have been sat in that place all alone. That makes me a sad panda. I really do like this Damian Priest Drew McIntyre feud too. So many people are throwing barbs at it. But not only does it have proper history when you do go back through all of the shows, but I just think they are going to ensure they absolutely kill it, especially if they get some kind of stipulation added to it. Also, when you do start predicting the card, it does feel like there's going to be a lot of multi-man matches on WrestleMania 41. So if they're one of the few to be in a singles bout, well, I actually think that helps them even more. So I am totally down on this, and even though I'm totally down on it, it's getting it up. When we did get to our big main event angle, and this was equal parts awesome and equal parts insane. And Roman Reigns came to the ring alongside Paul Heyman. This crowd just loved our tribal chief. They sung at him for so long, eventually Roman just did some ad-libbing and he was like, yeah, man, you should sing for the head of the table. He was so damn happy. And this is the kind of Roman Reigns I want to see more of, when you just let him talk whatever's thinking deep down in his tum-tum. It is absolutely brilliant. He was all ready to sign the contract too after saying how great he was. When of course Seth Rollins interrupted. I mean, it is a contract signing. And this is also because Roman has gone full Britney because whoops, he did it again. Because if he had just listened to Seth Rollins, CM Punk wouldn't even be an entity right now. But because Roman Reigns is a massive egomaniac, he can never see the bigger picture. He can't even get past his own ego, which is why Seth Rollins always has to stab him in the back. because you're just an idiot, Roman, and you're all about you, whereas Seth Rollins is about the greater good when it comes to professional wrestling. Now, Roman wasn't having any of that. He was like, dude, why do you think WWE is where it is right now? It's because I did focus on me, and I got us on Netflix. And Seth was like, would you shut up? Your issue is that you're always making messes, and I'm the one that's clearing it up. Otherwise, we wouldn't be anywhere today. And he finally signed the deal. And of course, as soon as he did that, out came CM Punk. Now, he made a Roddy Piper reference, which put a smile on my face. And listen, this did feel like a big time because of the people in it. It was a bit like 7 days ago. While I am massively compelled about this program, at the moment there is just something missing. I can't put my finger on it. Punk started to read the contract though. This is when Roman Reigns just continued his berating. He was so funny. He was like, man, why are you taking so long? Do you need a highlighter? And if you look at CM Punk's face, dare I say it, he almost laughed. Heyman then stepped in because he knew what Punk was looking for, and he said go to like part 4, 7B, whoopsie 2-1. It's right there in writing. And it was, because when we do get CM Punk versus Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, it is going to main event night 1. CM Punk will achieve his dream. Now again, the way that we did do this kind of felt like WWE were ignoring so many little story beats we could have done over the next couple of weeks. But if pro wrestling is about emotion and moments, which it is by the way, just go and look at CM Punk's face part 2. He was genuinely overcome with emotion here, had tears in his eyes. That's the secret stuff, man. Well, it's not the secret stuff, that's the obvious stuff. I thought that was absolutely fabu. Sounds a little bit corny as well, but it just goes to show CM Punk has had an incredible career. Like, go back to that time he was in Ring of Honor 20 years ago, nobody would believe it. He bet on himself, and he ticked the box. Now, of course, the instant reaction was, oh, well, this must be the Paul Heyman favor, and dare I say it, Roman Reigns thought this too, but after CM Punk had signed on the dotted line, he was like, you're all a bunch of goobers. That ain't the favor, man. You will find out. Roll credits. Now, I think it's totally awesome that it's not the favor because it just keeps you on your tootsie toes, although WWE is going to have to reveal this at WrestleMania or soon afterwards. Now, listen, yes, I am totally pumped for this. I'm totally amped for this. I know it makes the Royal Rumble situation a little bit problematic, which we will talk about in another video, but CM Punk deserves it. Roman Reigns is one of the biggest stars ever, and Seth Rollins is right up there too. It's not like you can't justify this being in the main event, but I do think over the next couple of shows, we really need to light a fire under it, which is what I said about Cody and John Cena too. So dare I say it, moving WrestleMania back to Easter weekend, well, maybe it was just a little bit too much time, but in terms of a segment of a television show, you cannot call this bad. In fact, I would say it was very, very good, and you know they'll make it work eventually. I am giving it up. I'm also super duper excited to find out what this favor is, because of course it could see Paul Heyman betray Roman Reigns to go with CM Punk, and if that is what happens after WrestleMania, well, there is just so much to dive into. So admittedly, this SmackDown was a little bit unbalanced, but you had the great crowd, you did have some big story beats. Now, of course, please do let me know how wrong I am in the comments below. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Click the video on the screen, which is a live ups and downs from Monday Night Raw. I had a terrific time, and thank you everyone for coming out. Now have a great weekend, my friends. I will see you soon.